Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters of this noble virtual house, people of the Philippines, speaking in front of you is a woman who is guilty of being a professional Marites. So hear me as I indict myself and plead guilty in this confession. Now, before the Philippines has glamorized the Marites culture, I have been projecting the basics of a Marites. I can still remember how it happened. We were backbiting our school head in a separate group chat. Familiar, right? Expressing our frustrations about her leadership, and as dumb as it seems, I accidentally sent a statement against her with her name in our official school group chat. And what makes this dumber was that Facebook during that time did not have the unsent feature yet. So it felt like I died that day. But good thing my fellow professional Marites came to the rescue, or else I will make sure that they will go down with me. Yeah, I was evil. So what they did, they sent a lot of pictures, GIFs, emojis, so that my blunder would go way up, away from the conversation thread. I was even lucky since my school head was offline, and yes, she failed to read my blunder. So that day, I realized a lesson. I realized that I should become a wiser, stronger, and more careful Marites. Yup. I did not change my ways. That's why I have four GC accounts with different people, but solely for the sake of Pakiki Marites. But recently, my guilt got the way of me. There was this sense of discomfort as I claim to be a professional, yet my actions speak otherwise. And as what a friend said, guilt is actually the spirit of discernment telling you that what you've been doing is all wrong and that I should be happy if I do feel guilty because it means that I am still able to sense right from wrong without guilt. Even the most common forms of crime, like lying to someone or perhaps a student cheating during a quiz, would feel like it's just normal. And being a marites should not be the standard of normal, nor something we should glamorize as a trend. And honestly, being a professional marites is way more dangerous than a normal marites who would just be gossiping with her kumares in front of a sari-sari store. So let me lay down my crimes and why it felt heavy knowing that I am a professional, but a marites. As a professional marites, my first crime is that I bite people, usually at the back. But since I am ICT skilled, I do it online nowadays. So yes, I use technology to gossip and celebrate rumors because I am scared of a face-to-face confrontation. And you know why Filipinos are afraid of confrontations? Well, according to one article that I've read, we gossip instead of confronting because subconsciously, that's a behavior conditioned during the time that we were still Indios or slaves. Now, as a slave has many complaints against their masters, but all they can do is speak about them in secret because they will be killed if they voice them out. So that struck me like, hey, I am a professional, educated and free. I could have many professional ways of speaking my side of the story, and yet here I am acting like a mere slave. So I guess Rizal was right. We were not yet ready for freedom because the brand of a slave is still within us. Now, second, as a professional marites, I easily give my unsolicited opinions about an issue simply because it felt like I am intelligent to do it. And yet, usually, a professional marites opinion is solely based from first reactions. And the problem with the first reaction is that they are usually wrong or incomplete. And since I am ICT skilled, so there is an urge in me to just react without thinking about my reactions for a couple of times online. That is why perhaps misinformation, disinformation, fake news is spreading, not to mention online wars and hate threads are rampant nowadays. Because really, if you think about it, these people who are actually trolls in social media are actually professionals. And like a mere tambay Marites who is confronted with their mistakes, they immediately flare up and turn a supposedly intellectual discussion into something barbaric. Yes, that's the Marites genes kicking. And lastly, as a professional Marites, I claim to be a storyteller, but actually, I am a story stealer. I steal the personal narratives of people behind their backs. I tell their stories as if they are mine to tell. I tell the emotions and intentions as if that were their emotions and intentions. I steal the story because I wanted the limelight on me. I do it because I care about them. Well, I do it for entertainment. We steal their stories and make a version of our own because other people's lives, be it happy or sad, is actually entertaining to a Marites. So yes, I am a professional, but at the same time, I'm an entertainer who wanted to be entertained by objectifying others' personal narratives. So I am guilty of these three. And in one way or another, these three crimes are also done to me. And yet the cycle goes on, and it doesn't feel like it will stop since society has been celebrating this culture. But you know what? I am happy to feel guilty right now. It made me feel the weight of my responsibility as a professional. It reminded me that, hey, you should have that moral integrity if you really do claim to be a professional. Self-awareness is the start if you wanted to change. Because how can you change a mistake if you are not aware that it's a mistake? So for you out there who also realize their crimes of being a professional Marites, embrace the guilt. Because as what Veronica Roth wrote, guilt reminds us to do better next time. So let's do better as professionals. Thank you.